When I filmed my Monster in My Pocket Monster Clash game, I was asked, how about muscle figures? Do you remember those? Millions of unusual small creatures lurking everywhere? Of course I remember those. So here's another video that shows you how to play another children's game. This one is the Muscle Mega Match game, and like the Monster in My Pocket one, it is for ages 6 to 12, and it's a two-player game. So it's a very simple game, but as you can see, it's a sealed game, so we are also going to do a unboxing. I wonder how many sealed copies of this game are left in the world. Well, there's about to be one less, because I just have this. I don't intend on selling it or getting rid of it and sitting wrapped forever without getting at these figures inside, because I am trying to complete a muscle collection. I want to see them. I don't even know why I'm explaining why I'm opening this thing. I just am. But I don't even know if games came sealed like this back in, what is this here? 1986. This game is almost 40 years old. It could be 40 years old if it came out anytime between February 18th and January 1st of 1986. But let's take a look inside. This stuff does seem quite old. Gross. I have a replacement tripod coming, but during filming one of my other videos, the tripod literally shattered into pieces out of nowhere. I guess the plastic was just old, or something was too tight or whatever, but here is the Muscle Mega Match game. And when you open it up, you have the arena, the two bags of muscle figures, which we will open. You have this disassembled spinner, and I'm guessing, ooh man, I'm gonna have to scan this. The sheets of stickers, these probably don't even stick anymore. They probably just become one with the backing paper with their age. 40-year-old glue probably not doing so great. But I'm gonna scan that and upload it to Board Game Geek, see if I can't get other people the ability to print and use those, because you like make flags and symbols and things. And then you've got this board here, which this is it. And the box itself is the arena. Now, upon looking around, I was like, where's the rule sheet for this game? Perhaps it's like some Italian games where the rules are on the back. No, not quite. But then I recall HeroQuest also had, boom, rules on the inside of the box. So on the inside of the top of the box are the Muscle Mega Match game rules. Let's go over this. The object of the game is to be the last player with one or more of your muscle creatures left standing. Inside the box is one wrestling arena built into the box bottom. There are 10 muscle figures, including Terri-Bull and Muscle Man. Then there is one spinner and one sticker sheet of press-on labels. Before we get into playing, let's take a look at the muscles, starting with the purple team, or the one with Muscle Man. Look at this old tape. Gross. And here is Muscle Man himself. I believe he's number 1 in the set. And one thing to note is that he is more of a lilac purple than a deep purple of the colored muscle figures that came out later. He's got that trademark on the back. Let's talk about this copyright for a second. It's a copyright symbol in the circle, followed by a Y over an S, and then an NT, and then another circle with a letter in it, which the circle with the letter in it down on the bottom right, people think is to represent the mold that this muscle figure came out of. But the Y stands for Yute Tamago, which is the manga authors, and that, I believe, translates to hard-boiled egg. And then the S is Shueisha, which is the publisher of the figures or the manga, I don't know. And then the N stands for NTV, that's the television network, or Nippon Television Network. And then T is Toei Animation, that is the animators of the anime and stuff like that. So that is a little breakdown of this. Oh, and the S, the Shueisha, I think translates to Gathering of Intellect. So that is the convoluted and I guess busy copyright on the back of these figures. Official figures have this marking. Reproductions will have China, Taiwan, or perhaps nothing on the back. And in the future, when they re-release these, I guess it's not the future, years after the initial run of these things, they did not have the YSNT. They were just regular. Here are some examples of some later ones that came out. Like, they came out in color, they came out without markings, they were solid color, they were gold, there were reproductions, and there's also the actual official Japanese ones, the Kenkeshi line. They're rubbery like erasers, and they are not as hard plastic as the American ones. Or not even really plastic, PVC, I think? I don't know. But anyway, a breakdown of the figures is to come to a later video. This is about the Muscle Mega Match game. Let's get back to it. I'm going to try to find the official names for these figures as they are listed, but I only have a checklist, and also I have a little bit of bias because when we were growing up, the lore created by my dad for these figures is what stuck with me, and we've got a bunch of different nicknames and stuff that have passed down through the years, so finding their official names is going to change how I know them, I guess. Well, not change how I know them, but I'll find them. And this is number 151, Kandaramon, and I will say that this is grape, not purple, if you're using the official term that collectors use. It's not lilac, so there's that figure. This is number 154, Anmanai Tozu. This is number 149, Screw Kid. This is number 152, Mongol Man. I thought it was Ramen Man was his name, but every time I've searched, Mongol Man has come up with this specific mold. And those are the grape ones that came in my box. I'm not sure if it's always the same. I know this guy is guaranteed in the box if you get it new, as is Terri-Bull from the green team. Let's take a look at the team that is in this bag now. This is figure number 105, Terri-Bull in America, or Buffalo Man over in Japan. This is not the one that is pictured on the cover of the box. This is a different pose. I don't know. I'm assuming that this is correct because this was sealed and these guys were still in a taped bag. I would have had that one instead because he's got the cool pauldron and the straps. This guy's just clenching fists. This is Muscle 177 Dai-Ukon. Now, this one is really cool to me because one of the first Muscle figures I ever got was a purple one of this guy that I got when I was a kid. Almost 35 years ago, probably even longer than that. And I still have him. So, automatically, the green team is my favorite from this box. Green team is still my favorite despite having this stupid looking guy. This is number 181, Black Bear. He looks like a Ferengi without the ears. This is figure number 178, Black S. I guess we'll just call him Hercule because that's what the translated name of one of the Dragon Ball characters came out to be when they changed his name, which is not offensive in Japan, which is offensive in America. So we're just going to call this guy Black S. And this is figure 180, Akuma Shogun. Alright, we've got our muscle assembled. Let's learn how to play. Step 1. Put the game board box on the bottom in the middle of the playing area. And age has gotten to this thing because Step 2. Assemble the spinner as shown in the diagram and put it where both players can reach it. But this shows a square! And this is a circle. I'm going to have to scan this as well. Each player will take a team of 5 muscle figures of one color. Players will then set up their teams on top of the 2 opposing walls. 1 team per wall. Players should set 1 muscle creature within each of the 5 spaces on top of their walls. The sticker sheet can be used to decorate your arena or give awards or medals to your team. I don't know why that's part of the rules and rather just a description of what these things do, but yeah, there you go. That's step 5. Step 5 is knowing what the sticker sheet is for. And now you're ready to play. Each player will spin the spinner first to see who goes first. The higher number goes first. It's a good spin. 3 to 1. We'll just say green goes first because I like that team better. And note that the numbers along the outside of the spinner tell you how many spaces you can move. The M's in the inner circle are used when your creatures are in combat, as explained in combat when we get to that section. Players will then take turns spinning the spinner, moving their muscle creatures. 1. Oh boy. On each turn, a player spins the spinner and moves one or more of his creatures the same total number of spaces as the number just spun. A player can divide up his total move among as many creatures as he likes. So for this example, we'll say that I spun a 3. So with that 3, it's pretty simple to understand. You can move one creature 3 spaces or 3 creatures 1 space each, or one creature 1 space and another creature 2 spaces. A player can move his creatures forward, backward, sideways, or diagonally in any combination. A player can have up to 2 creatures on the same space at one time. You can also move through a space with 2 of your creatures on it, but you can't stop there. So with this 3, we'll just go 1 and lump of Stiltskin in the middle of this arena here. And 2, 3. Wow. Now, that rule of 2 that says you can't stop somewhere does not apply to opponents, because combat can take place. A player can have up to 2 creatures on the same space at one time, so when you move 1 or 2 of your creatures onto a space occupied by 1 or 2 of your opponent's creatures, you begin combat. So we'll say we rolled a 2, and let's have a fight. And this is where the simplicity of the game continues. During combat, each player, in turn, spins the spinner once for each creature he or she has in battle. When spinning, be sure to keep track of how many M's you spin. So we'll say green has 2 and spun 0 and 0. Purple spins 1 M. Oh, that doesn't count. That's cheap. Spinning the spinner out of its thing. Well, 1 M. And just to further that example, if you had 2 and your opponent had 1, you'd spin twice, your opponent would spin 1. Anyway, after both players have spun, the one with the most M's wins the combat and gets to knock over 1 or 2 of the opposing creatures. If the winning player has 1 or more M than the losing player, the winner gets to knock over 1 opposing creature on the combat square. Note that the losing player has 2 creatures on the combat square. He gets to choose which of his 2 creatures the winner gets to knock over. I choose this guy. Now, what happens to this guy when he's knocked over? Well, once knocked over, the defeated creature is out of the game. Players leave the defeated creatures lying in the arena, but those creatures are not counted as occupying a space and may be moved around as necessary to make room for more combat. If both players spin the same number of M's in battle, it's a tie and will continue after the next player takes his or her turn moving. Once each player has had one chance to do battle on every space where his or her creatures are in combat, it becomes the next player's turn to move. This player takes his or her turn moving even if there was a tie in battle or if both players still have creatures standing on the same space after a battle. Note that this means if it's your turn to move, you can choose to retreat from a space with your opponent's creatures on it, and in this way end the battle, or you can choose to bring in reinforcements, unless there's 2. We'll move out the... Oh man, I'm knocking everybody over, they're all dead! Ah! We'll move out the Screw Kid here, and we'll say we rolled a 4 and bring him in reinforcements. Yeah! Then play continues for the rest of the game with one player taking a turn moving, then a combat round. If there are any combat situations on the board, then the other player takes his or her turn moving, and so on. You can be involved in any number of combats at one time. The last player with 1 or more muscle creatures left standing wins the game. And there is another way to play. That's actually not another way to play, it just makes this version of playing longer, but we'll get into that. You can use other muscle creatures you already have to build up teams of more than 5 creatures. But be sure that both players have the same number to play with. Rules for movement and combat are the same as the regular game. I would say get even more creative and find different ways to solve the fight. Oh, that was too easy. The spinner's probably better. And that was an unboxing and an overview of how to play the Muscle Mega Match game from Mattel.